listening to The Sizzle on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television.
Well, here we are back again, late in the midnight hour.
Bringing the midnight oil.
Hot fire to you one more time again. I was there, Jesus. How's it going?
Hey, man, I'm ready to start the show.
Oh, it's hot, baby. Hot. Woo! Hot fire.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this hot fire or hot garbage. I don't know. Whichever way you want to take it, whichever way it goes right now. It's late now. So
after midnight, he's coming with the fire.
Look, man, when you got a team that came back from an all-star break. Now, we talked about it. We were actually out at Hook and Reel.
Yeah.
Doing a spot location. You know, we were doing the show. And we were getting ready to crack the mic. And I'm looking at Zach Lavine in the all-star game.
Uh-huh.
And I see Paul George, like, just take him to school. It was really sad. Nobody talked about it, but Paul George ISO'd Zach Lavine. It was like, yeah, you couldn't stop me if you had. My man came and gave him the Batman wing throw. He moved the ball side to side, one hand, and then stood and looked at Zach Lavine, shot the three, and looked at him again.
Yeah. It's like this is what real superstars look like. I know you haven't seen that over in Chicago in many a decade, but this is what a real scorer looks like.
Then they come back down the court later on.
Yeah.
Zach Lavine has an opportunity to take the three. That's why they passed him the ball.
Yeah.
You shoot threes. That's what you do. You decide to make a mid-air pass that had two defenders in front of you.
Yeah. Shoot the ball.
And you begin to wonder, and you start to say to yourself, you know, we hear all the nice platitudes. Self, is Zach Lavine really a good ball player?
Oh, well, he's a good ball player. I'm not going to say he's not a good ball player, but when you get among greatness, there's a big chasm from being good to great.
And that's all we've been saying the whole time. He's a good player. He's a good NBA player, but he's in no way, shape, form, or fashion a great NBA player.
Because great players do what he does. Is that proper English? I don't know. Do what he does.
Yeah.
Does what he do?
No. Do what he does.
Oh, do what he does. So
yeah, do what you do.
He does what he does. Great players do that on a regular basis. That's their ordinary. See, and that's where greatness resides. Greatness resides into your best being their ordinary. Mm-hmm. And this is why you see the James Hardens of the world and people like, he don't have to play defense. He don't have to. He can eat all the Chick-fil-A he feels like. He don't have to. Because one-on-one, you can't guard me.
You know, as you watch that All-Star game, we were watching it, and I began to realize Paul George is good. He's not great. Zach Lavine is good. He's not great. Then you look at Dame Lillard, and
Dame
you say,
Dollar.
He's great. Now he's that step above good.
Yeah.
He's that dude. Like, there's Steph, there's LeBron, there's AD.
Right.
Kawhi. And then there's Dame.
He's in that grouping. You know, you're not gonna smirk your face if you talk about Dame Dollar being in that same group you just mentioned right there. Mm-hmm. You know, where these guys just ball out, and Dame Dollar will give you the absolute business.
Oh, undoubtedly. So let's see what he's done to the Bulls twice this season.
Oh, speaking of what was being done to the Bulls, didn't they set some type of record recently? What did some form of record of futility? What was that magic number? What was that?
I'm not gonna do it with you because you're not going to break my spirit right now, because I'm looking at a Bulls team who played the 76ers, man, and they lost by 20.
Did they play the actual 76ers?
They may have had a better chance playing against Julius Erving right now.
You know what? I want to ask a question though. Okay.
Okay.
Are you happy about this brand of basketball that we're seeing right now in the 2021 season, where people are just scoring 130 points and nobody cares?
No. I understand this form of basketball. I'm not happy with it, but then we grew up in a different era. We grew up in an era of defensive. We grew up when you scored 90 by actually probably killing the best scorer on the other team.
Yeah.
It wasn't a given. There was no given. Those were those 75, 78 games.
I mean, you're literally seeing guys now scoring 35 points in a quarter is no big deal. I mean, they don't even feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? You don't see nobody getting knocked down, nobody taking a hard foul. You do get 5 of them. You know, somebody needs to be laid down on the ground. You're just going to shimmy and shake in front of me, put me on the string, make me look bad, ISO me.
Well, the one thing that is good is Thadius Young for the Bulls. I mean, close to a double-double again.
You know what? He might go on the trade, though, bro. They might.
But you know what's funny? They just talked about they weren't going to trade Thad.
Oh, I don't know. I think to get somebody in here, because they need somebody in here right now.
But what are you going to get for Thad? I mean, really, let's talk about the Bulls' assets. I mean, if you're talking about Laurie, Coby, Thad, Garrett Temple, Otto Porter, if you're trading for Otto Porter, you just want cap space. You want cap relief. If that's the case, the Bulls might as well just keep him because you're not going to get, unless you're getting 2 or 3 second-round picks for him. To me, the only player they have that's probably worth some value on the market outside of Zach Lavine, probably Coby White or Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, but here's the issue that you got to look at. You need some long-distance shooting right now with the Bulls that you can be consistently depended on. And they don't have that right now. And I think if you see that aspect of the game open up for the Bulls, I think you would see a lot more scoring opportunities happen, especially for the Daniel Gaffords and the other guys up underneath who are really not getting the ball in a position to score because teams are just packed in because they're not really worried about Coby White shooting up the 3 ball. You know what I'm saying?
Your man only played 15 minutes tonight. So when you've got Wendell Carter only playing 15 minutes and you got Daniel Gafford who's not there, I think if you trade that, you have no power forward or center. That's where the Bulls are right now.
Yeah, but the problem is right now the Bulls aren't going anywhere with this team. Nada. They're not going above 500.
Well, you knew that when you started this shenanigans. And now I'm going to revert back to a conversation I had with my son earlier. Any good basketball person who knows basketball could tell you Coby White was not a point guard.
Absolutely correct.
In fact, if you look at his history from high school, from junior high coming up, he's always been a lead guard, always been a scorer. So at that point, you're starting to ask yourself, what kind of what menagerie do the Bulls have? You got a point guard who's really not a point guard. You got a center who's really not a center. You got a power forward who only averaged 4 points in college and didn't even start for his own team. And oh, by the way, tonight played 32 minutes, had 4 points, 4 assists, and 1 rebound.
That's our guy.
32 minutes.
Now, I know we didn't have a chance to get the guy before him, but that guy's going to probably be Rookie of the Year. You know, when you're the 3rd, 4th, 5th pick in the league, that's the type of impact you're supposed to have.
Maybe, and it's not a knock on Patrick Williams, but maybe in about 10 years, still in the league, maybe his best comp will be Thadius Young. Maybe that's what he'll turn into.
Yeah, he's probably going to end up being one, unless, God forbid, on injuries. He's probably going to be one of those guys who's going to stay in the league for a long time because he's long. He is going to get stronger at some point in time just because you're in the league and, getting that workout program in. He does have a jumper. I just don't think he shoots it enough. And we've seen him flash, taking people off the dribble, but we don't see him flash enough. Like, his mentality is not to attack and embarrass you. At least with Zach Lavine plays angry. he plays like I'm trying to embarrass you every time I come out on the basketball court. That's not Patrick Williams' mindset. And I think in today's game, you got to have that sort of and one mindset. Hot sauce and skip to Malou and all. All they did was come out on the floor. The professor, all they did was come out on the floor and see if they could embarrass you. Mm-hmm. And that's what needs to happen now. The upper echelon players, that's what they try to do to you. They try to embarrass you. And if they can come down there and embarrass you again, they will. They'll go here and point down to the logo and pull a shot on you. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at a team right now. I mean, you need some form of an impact. But the impact that you could have is not an impact that you're going to be able to sustain. Say he did something crazy and he went out to and tried to get maybe a George Hill or somebody like that, who's a very good three-point shooter, which the Bulls desperately need. But he's 34 years old. Mm-hmm. And so this is a guy who's not a long-term solution for you, and you really can't get a younger guy. You just don't have the draft capital to give up to get a younger guy to come here and help out, because you need another star. You need an Oladipo or somebody like that to come in here and play along Zach Lavine. That's what you need.
You know what you need? You need a point guard. And the 3 times the Bulls have had an opportunity to get point guards, they did not. So you have a Tyrese Halliburton who you could have picked up. Now, I know this whole thing, it sounds really nice about developing Pat Williams into something greater. And maybe in about 4 years, he might be an ultra defender. He might be that guy. But right now,
I don't think so.
Playing 32 minutes a game.
Give you 4 solid ones.
You can't. And it's not like you can send him to a developmental league. It's not like you can do anything with him but what you're doing right now. And the Bulls have, again, so many broken little pieces. You've got, the Denzel Valentine. You've got these players who are there that just really, they don't seem to fit, and it doesn't seem to work. But then there's still this thought that they're going to be something special, or they're going to do something special this year just because they're in the middle of the pack. I don't get it. I really don't. And again, if you don't get somebody to help Zach Lavine, like if he has to try and take one of those hero ball shots at the end of the game, every game, just thank God he didn't have to do it tonight because they were getting blown out.
Well, the thing about this is that the Bulls just are not consistent. They're just not consistent. I mean, one time you had these guys, the most three-pointers ever attempted a shot or made by a backcourt duo, and then they come out, 3 weeks after that, and they get nuclear bombed. Well, how many points was that in a quarter? 74 or something like that? Somebody dropped on them?
Yeah.
74. In one quarter. Or was it a half?
Half.
74.
Well, tonight, the 76ers dropped 64 on them in one half.
Nobody, where's the defense? Where's the beef?
I used to love that commercial.
That was a good little lady.
Shout out to my homeboy, Michael LeBroy, man. Rest in peace, bruh. But we used to do that commercial in class, and we would get our butts handed to us. But
what happens? It happens.
Everybody needs to know, where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
And I don't see any beef. I don't see any fight on this team.
I said that before.
I don't see anything on this team.
I said that about 3 or 4 weeks ago. There's nobody here that you want to go to war with. No. I mean, maybe Zach Lavine, but there's nobody. There's not a fighter on this squad right now. There's nobody that I say, you know what, we got to go down a dark alley. You coming with me?
Zach Lavine reminds me of the main security personnel guy I watch John Wick. And he fights you like that guy. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you know he's going to get killed.
Yeah.
He's not going to be there later on. It's not going to work. And he's the only thing you got right now with the Bulls, but that doesn't mean you have a lot. So, Jay, here's the question.
Yes, sir.
Should the Bulls be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline?
Got to be buyers right now. I think you gotta trade away some of these. You got a good bench, but what good is it doing you? Mm-hmm. You're still at, what are they, 7th or 8th right now? Are they even in the playoffs at this point? Well, yeah, everybody's going to make the playoffs for this new playoff thing. Everybody. I think if you're down,
last I looked, they were 9th.
right. I think if you're number 10, I think you're still going to make the playoffs. You got to play in games. But the issue is now is that the Bulls are in such a bad situation because we had a number of the 7th overall picks. And we found out in the NBA that if you're not number 1, 2, or 3, it's a huge drop off after that. I mean, you know, you don't find really guys who really dominate. I mean, every once in a while you do. Every once in a while you find a Dwayne Wade or somebody like that. But for the most part, unless you're 1, 2, or 3 up top of the real lottery picks, you don't make really big impacts in the league. Not overall, not all the time. And the Bulls really have had 7 guys. I mean, how many times did they pick number 7 now? 3 years in a row?
3 years in a row.
Right. And how's that worked out for you?
Let me be accurate, and for clarity's sake, the Bulls right now stand at 16-19. They're 6-4 in their last 10, but they are currently number 11.
Right. Out of the playoffs. Out of the playoffs that everybody's going to make the playoffs.
Right.
Everybody's going to make the playoffs. And the Bulls are currently out of the playoffs right now. So why hold on to a Thad Young? Mm-hmm. Why hold on to it? If you can move some of these guys to a team that needs to shore up their bench, or you could possibly bring somebody in here that's going to help you, this is what you need to do. Mm-hmm. Because you're not going anywhere.
You know what's funny is you get ready to see the separation. Like everybody was bunched up earlier. Mm-hmm. But now at the top of the East, you've got the 76ers who demolished them tonight. They're 25-12. And that next breaking point doesn't come till about the 4th, where the Celtics are 19-18. But you still got to leapfrog 3 teams. Those 3 teams would be the Pacers, Raptors, and the Hawks.
Yeah.
And maybe come into a short fight with the Hornets. The Bulls have a tough road.
Oh, and you got to remember, too, this is a shortened season. Right? So everybody's going to be accelerating this situation. They're not going to be eased into right now. They're about to get ready to turn it on.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the firepower, which the Bulls do not have, they definitely don't have the defense, which the Bulls do not have. They don't have a big man down there, with the Bulls do not have that. There's nobody out there scares you on the Bulls. Nobody scares you on the Bulls. I mean, the only person that gets your heart pumping a little bit is Zach Lavine, but he only can do so much. You know, and then after that, you got you know your Thadius Youngs and all those guys. Those guys are great, but the issue is with Thadius Young and those guys is that they're bench players, role players. That's what they are. You know, you don't want to roll Thadius Young and the other bench mob out there as your starters, because you're going to get whacked.
Right.
They're good for that, 12 minute, 13, 15 minutes that they're getting in ball games right now. And they're even playing a lot longer than they should at the end, because Billy Donovan can't really trust the ball club that he has out there right now. So I think you got to move some pieces. There's no reason why to keep these old guys around right now.
Well, I know one thing. I know the people who are going to get whacked are those people who are not listening to the Sizzle.
I know.
If you're not listening and you're not subscribed, then you might just get whacked upside the head with a basketball.
Wow.
It could happen. There are stories of it happening. It happens all the time.
Wow.
So make sure that you're following, liking, subscribing, sharing with people that you like. You can find us on any platform, any multimedia platform. Look for Iron Skillet Sports, hashtag Iron Skillet 219.
Yeah.
That way you can find us anywhere that you find your quality sports information, all that good stuff that we talk about. Please help us to continue to spread this good word, give you this quality breakdown of the Bulls, because it's a lot of bull. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, you know what it is. You know who it is. You know what it is. It's the Sizzle here on Iron Skillet Radio, Iron Skillet Television. We'll see you on the other side.